In 1880, so you're looking at 15 years after the end of the Civil War, there were 720 people living in Tampa, and that basically is downtown.
Wow.
In 1890, 10 years later, there are 5,500 people living in the city of Tampa, which at that time was 4 wards. So it had grown geographically as well. You had downtown as the first ward, Tampa Heights as the second ward, Hyde Park as the third ward, and Ybor City as the fourth ward. And it's because of Ybor City, because of the cigar industry and the railroad and the phosphate industry. People don't think about phosphate very much, but that was kind of the third leg of the stool that really helped enhance the port. That's what drove Tampa's growth. And so you kind of go even further. Between 1880 and, say, 1910, we grow from 720 in 1880 to about 70,000 people by 1910.
Post cigar boom.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, we're well into the cigar industry. The port is finally open, so you're bringing a lot of business there. The railroad, the city's growing, and then the teens and 20s. Other than World War I, you've got real suburbs that we know today. So Palmacia, Virginia Park,
probably Seminole Heights.
Seminole Heights in the teens and 20s. Davis Island's created, Beach Park, new
1920s.
suburb, beautiful.
Yeah.
Because Hyde Park. The core of Hyde Park is suburb beautiful. And so they created one that was new, called New Suburb Beautiful in the 20s. Parkland, things like that. And then, of course, West Tampa. You think about, we annexed West Tampa in 1925. That was a separate city. Port Tampa City was a separate city. That was still the 1960s. If you had all these areas that were outside of the city limits, if they all were part of Tampa as a census area, we would have been the largest city in Florida in the 1920s. We've always kind of tailed behind either Miami or Jacksonville or some combination of the two. But we would have been the largest city, and we certainly were the most important city on the West Coast, and probably still are. But Miami surpassed us during the 20s and into the 30s, and then kind of really looked back.
Right.
And Jacksonville, they cheat because it's all Duval County.
I know.
We can't.
They're like, our city's 800 square miles.
Exactly.
It's like, we're the biggest city in the world.
Yeah, and that doesn't quite. It doesn't count.
So there's this massive period of growth for quite a long time. It sounds like
up until
the
Depression,
the very late 1800s, right? Flagler comes. I'm sorry, Plant comes, builds the Tampa Bay Hotel. You have more tourism, while almost at the same time, Ybor City cigars,
Ybor, West Tampa, Palmetto Beach, all that. So you got 1890s.
And then you have
1920s.
this massive immigration too. That's when my family came.
Yeah.
Late 1800s from Sicily. That's when a lot of other families came here.
Yeah, you've got the Sicilians, Spaniards, Cubans, Afro-Cubans.
Tampa must have been something to see at that time.
It would have been.
The turn of the century.
Very metropolitan. The most diverse city in the South.
Right.
People say New Orleans may have been as or more diverse, but if you look at the different groups of people, in New Orleans, you've got French, you got Cajun, you've got kind of traditional white and black. But in Tampa, again, just like you said, we have Sicilians, Spaniards, Cubans, Afro-Cubans, and then a lot of German immigrants coming in to mix in with the kind of pre-existing Southern population of white and black. You had a place where Spanish would have been probably the common language for a brief time in the 1890s, more so than English. But it flipped again. But we're very metropolitan. Lots of things that were here, opera houses and things, and mutual aid societies, all that stuff. You didn't see that anywhere else in the South.
No, really, really interesting too. I mean, if you were to compare a city from the Northeast at the time to Tampa, it might have looked very similar, right? Heavy levels of immigration from all different parts of the world, a lot of different industries lining up, the culture and the arts and these opera houses. I mean, how unique, that was extremely unique to the South.
Very much
at
so.
that time. The South was very one note.
Yeah, it was either, white or black, agrarian, very few industries. Obviously, we're a smaller scale than the northeastern cities. But from kind of a per capita standpoint, absolutely, we're as diverse as any place you'd see.
If you enjoyed this clip, click here for the full episode and make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.